Check, check. Check, 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 check. Why am I not getting any audio? I don't know, I'm just really... Okay, whatever. Sweet. So it is, in fact, making sound. Let me mess with the gain just a little bit. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2, check, check. Properties. Okay. Check, 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 check. All right, whatever. Okay. So I've been trying to set up a dev environment for a while now. I kind of have like a half running Nix setup that I stole from Dreams of Code, and I want to make something a little more robust. Need to turn myself off. Okay. So all right. This Ryan Yin wrote. He's a guy that wrote a book about Nix and Nix Flakes that I've read through. Let's see, where is his book? Let's get posts. There you go. So he's got a book. It's pretty good place to start. But we're gonna kind of skip ahead and just look at his Nix Darwin Kickstarter project and try to use it to install Kitty, nushell, neovim, all the fun things. Currently, I'm using VS Code, but man, I sure hope that didn't have my Twitch stream key in that. Let's go and change that stream key just in case, because that felt a little dumb of me. Just doing some stuff off camera for a second because I think I was dumb and leaked my stream key. It's just don't even want to go back and look. Okay, reset the string key for now. Let's clone this. Oh, cool. Actually, fuck it. Apparently, we already cloned it. Go us. So, I'm getting this ZSH comp init thing because my main account is already using Nix and the ZSH config didn't carry over well. This is definitely something I'm probably going to fix on my spare time and make a video slash article about. But for now, let's just start here. So we're going to build our repo in this repo and kind of just use minimal enrich demo as resources. So let's start with our flake. CD our flake. Okay, so I am still fairly new to Nix and flakes. Big fan of the concept, the like declarative nature, and the package lock that comes with flakes. The like reproducibility it brings is pretty fucking sweet. Oh, I guess I'm not like supposed to swear, but I guess I'm not really trying to monetize either right now. So whatever. Um, but yeah, the reproducibility is pretty awesome if you ask me. So let's get this going. So I'm gonna take his flake.nix and I'm just gonna copy it into our flake. I know I rely way too much on the keyboard right or on my trackpad right now, but until I start doing some more neovim, probably gonna keep doing it that way. So we are going to I am unfamiliar with this nix config um, option for flakes, like what these, why he would have a substitutor. I wonder if we go back to his copy. Oh, I'm yeah, because I'm on a new streamer uh, because I'm on a new streamer account on my laptop. I don't have basically any of my extensions set up other than I did pick a theme, just so it's a little easier on my eyes. We are just logging into my GitHub right now so that I can get the Copilot free. So maybe I can start asking it questions and then we can start. Well, okay. I don't. I feel like I'm not thinking completely straight. I am a little tired and trying. Like this is the first time, and it's a little overwhelming. I guess if I just were to read his comments and stuff, I could see that he's checking ustc.edu before he goes to the nixos.org. I'm not sure why. I'm going to get rid of it and just go with that because I don't know what the reasoning is. And I'll go try to do some research later tonight. I'm going to keeping my notes in Obsidian. I have a project in my GitHub that I haven't like working on. Going to publish a public version of where all of my research notes and stuff will exist. I spent a lot of time since this 11.23 trying to figure out ADOM multi-stream. I think it wasn't working because I installed OBS with Nix. I am unsure of if the plugins were actually being installed in the right place. And I'm going to make a little checklist of things that I want to do later, like why is Ryan Yin hitting ustc.edu before NixOS? I'm wondering if maybe like this ustc.edu is a Japanese school and it's just like the servers are, yeah, it is in fact. So this is probably why, but I'm going to do a little more research just to understand. It's probably just like, oh, not Japan, China. The English finally loaded for me. But yeah, okay, so that makes sense. Why that instead of nixos.org, cut some bandwidth out. Cool. So yeah, we don't want to hit China first. We're just going to go with nix.org. Next, looking at his inputs. So this is basically where we define it's where we define like the repository. So the way Nix works, as far as I understand it, is it takes this configuration stuff here from and pulls packages out of this repo, so that stuff always builds the same exact way. You can override stuff to get the configuration that you want, or you can just use the default configuration. Saying a lot. Either way, cool. So we sets up a Nix packages Darwin. I'm gonna go look and see, like, is 2405 the most recent Darwin? Yes, we're gonna upgrade from 2405 to 2411. This doesn't look like it's really working off a branch, so don't care nearly as much. So now we move on from the inputs to the outputs. Let's see. To do. For now, we are going to only define one user. I have little digging into now modifying Ryan's Nix config. Upgraded the Nix packages version. And I'm just gonna kind of take another piece down here and say that we are like here's our goals for today. It's just get kitty for my user, which I think is kitty for my current user. Long term, actually, we're going to change this. The goal is to build a Nix flake for my Wilhelm G user. The long-term goal is to define multiple users. Wilhelm G for streaming content creation. I have a Will Games that I want to install Steam and only launch Steam from those places because I'm working on trying to increase my willpower, but sometimes I still fall into temptation and play games when I really want to get something else done instead. Only accessible from this account. And I just want a Will account that is more personal projects. I'm not streaming, doing the day-to-day. Etc. All of these users exist on the same computer. They might have, I might try to do some sort of inheritance thing to where like Wilhelm G and the Will account both have like a shared underlying like programming module type thing. But until for now, that's going to be the goal is. And today I want to configure kitty. I want to try out nushell, especially if I've I want to use nushell and kitty so that it's a kind of like just a place to experiment. I learned about nushell again from Dreams of Autonomy /code. and some of the query language stuff sounds really fantastic, so definitely want to give it a shot. Figured having like one terminal set up for like experimenting and learning is probably a good thing, and then I can also uh, down the line configure a Z. I want to configure a ZSH and make it the default for iTerm. Let's see. And then I would like to install neovim. I'll probably end up watching some videos, and maybe I'll watch them on stream, like some of the other React content streamers, but we'll pause and implement pieces piece by piece and just try to get some tools that we think will help us in the day-to-day. Other packages we need, we want LazyGit, we want Zoxide, FCF, etc. So this is the goal for today, at least. So back to code. So for now, our username is Wilhelm G. Our system is ARC64 Darwin. We're doing this, setting this up on my M1 Mac. My host name is Wills M1. Fairly certain. Yes. Not sure if capitalization matters, so we'll try to fix it anyways. I am unfamiliar with this special args thing. I still have more of that Ryan for Yin book to read through. I've been trying to take my time, take notes, which is something I will put out in my second brain garden, whatever the heck people call it. I haven't decided what I'm going to call it yet. So the code snippet special args is reference to a variable or attribute within a Nix expression, specifically in the context of a flake.nix file. Nix is a functional package manager, blah, 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 blah. In a flakes.nix file, special args is typically used to pass additional arguments to functions or derivations. These arguments can be used to customize the behavior of the Nix expression or to provide necessary dependencies that are not part of the standard inputs. The special args attribute is often seen in more complex NIC configuration where modularity and reusability are important. This is definitely one of the things that is important to me right now, is being able to recreate this. I want to take this profile that we built here and then use pieces of it to build the other profiles on this MacBook, and also a profile on probably like my home lab server, just for when I SSH in there and have to do some work on the server directly. My work laptop, anywhere else that can be. So special args might include paths to specific libraries, configuration options, or other parameters. Looks like in here we just have our username and our host name, which probably is just fairly useful for words are hard. What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying. I guess we'll just forget it. But so Darwin configurations. Will's M1, Darwin lib system special args. So saying that it's going to take the system and make it a special args to this Darwin configuration. Let's ask Copilot. Okay, so this is slightly different, or well, they're like connected, but they're not quite the same thing. So this is just saying in these files, or in this scope, basically, which we're importing a bunch of modules, make sure system and special args are available. We are definitely going to comment out this for now, and we'll figure out the next code formatter later. Feels like let's get something ugly that works out first, and then we can clean it up. And if my voice is going away, it's because I am slowly raising my desk up so that I can stand for a little bit. Okay. So it looks like the first thing this thing does is it imports a module's nix.core. So we'll make our own just to see kind of what it does. Maybe we'll drop it. Who knows? But for now, that all right. So we have a module, or what is the correct term? Let's find out what the correct term is. What is the correct terminology for this file? In this file. Okay, so this is an attribute set. So this is, I think this is the inputs, if I'm remembering right. Oh shoot, I need to not ask. forget. I always forget AI is just really agreeable. Nix attribute sets. Let's actually change it into our thing here. So Nix. Look at the hoping to find like a demo. So enable flakes globally makes sense. We don't want this. I don't want to grab a Chinese Nix channel, but I know Cashix is a fairly popular project that stores binaries so that your machine doesn't have to do as much work. I think. I'm talking out of my ass about things that I vaguely know, but have not fully learned. So let's do some research. Yeah, so Nix is a binary cache host. Shares binaries between CI development and deployment environments. Eventually, I would like to set up my own binary store that basically just isn't $50 a month. It seems kind of insane. I don't really necessarily want this to be an open source project, I don't know if it counts or not, if it's my system flake, but I also would like a cache host at some point that I can use to run private software, different projects that will either work on stream or just in my spare time. I am on the journey of kind of falling in love with programming again. I got really burned out at work, doing a lot of code review and mentoring and dealing with very painful deploy processes that can be pretty brittle, and so the stress definitely got to me. And recently I've just been kind of programming for fun after work, and I'm definitely finding that again. So yeah, I guess it's that. Let's see. What is trusted cachix? Let's just kind of look at this and looks like that's builders use substituters. This all makes sense. Services, Nix daemon, enable true. Sounds good. I think this is probably going to override my machine's current Nix setup, but I'm not really using it. I'd like to try to stream a lot more and kind of do this whole process in the public so that hopefully at some point people start watching me and giving me feedback. So I can be teaching people, they can be teaching me, and just the whole world gets a little more knowledge spread out. I'd like to cut down the streamed content into planned videos, or not necessarily planned videos, but into videos that are cleaned up, more concise, less me rambly. But that is a plan for a different day. So basically what this is doing, flakes are an experimental feature, but it's the main reason I want to use it. So we're definitely going to keep this, use the Cachix thing. Looks like a way to say I trust Cachix, and telling our builders to use that. So sweet. So let's go back to our flake.nix. So after Ryan sets up defines attributes for the Nix package manager itself, he goes and sets up the system. So let's see what he's doing there. So it's cp modules setting system was the one I wanted to put that into the modules directory. One second. I will be right back. Need to take care of a house thing. All right, I'm back. Let's see. So where were we? we had just copied over his system. So let's open that up and kind of read through it. What is a... Okay, so I don't start learning about the macOS system configuration. Luckily, he has a link here to that. The thing I wanted to figure out first was, what is a state version? Okay, so makes simple sense here. Like, it's just kind of defining how state is defined. I wonder if this programs.zsh enable is why I get this thing. Like, if I need it, or if I have it already and that's what's causing it, or if I don't have it and that is causing it. But either way, we're just gonna kind of keep it as thing. I do want to look into understanding this a little better. Activating settings-u will reload the settings from the database. Cool. 24-hour clock sounds great. My notes, I guess, haven't crossed over, although now we are actually officially at this. I usually try to do this that way. If I am searching through my whole Obsidian vault and I want to just like look at a line, I can see like the date from the file name, and without having to look at surrounding context, I can tell what time my note is actually for. So we are just copying over the minimal settings at first, then we'll start reading through the whatever other folder for other things we can configure. Cool. So after system, then he imports his apps, which is probably where we get to start playing around with Kitty. But cp /minimal modules apps.nix into our modules directory. So install kind of just reading through. Doesn't actually look like, or the more I'm thinking about this, this isn't how I wanted to set up Kitty. Was hoping to have one nix function slash attribute set that gets returned to define Kitty with all of its little like bells and whistles, color schemes, any plugins we need, aliases, those kinds of things. So for now, I think I'm actually just going to leave this empty. Eventually, we're going to add in like Brave, but even Brave, I'm probably going to try to do it as its own little module, so that way it can pre-install some extensions. Maybe I can connect accounts. I'm not sure. I don't know what all is available to me, but yeah, that's this. So we look, this thing right now installs Git, tries to do some stuff with Homebrew, but you have to install Homebrew manually first. This maybe we'll just do with like a just file. Maybe we'll make a command that installs like the Nix stuff and then builds out our thing. But who knows? We're kind of just spitballing about the future here right now. So I'm going to come back out here to flake.nix, this app. Final thing he does is a host user nix. So let's just copy cp minimal modules host users nix. We want to put that in our modules directory also. Come here. This just sets up our the stuff. So this is a thing that is gonna have to change because I don't want, or no, it won't have to change, but we'll have to probably duplicate this to have multiple usernames. This actually, maybe it's up here in the flake.nix where we define what usernames we actually want. Cool. So for now, our flake is just a one-to-one copy of minimal, but now we're going to start looking through rich demo and then customizing stuff. So let's jump in. So see, he had the just file that I was thinking of. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna look through this just file quite yet. We'll definitely give it a shot at some point because I bet it has some helpful shortcuts to get stuff going. So look at his flake.nix. He does the USTC thing first, obviously. Pulling in Nix packages. He's got Home Manager, which is something that I know I'm going to want. This is it's a package for defining per user configuration. Right now, all this our flake stuff is a global config. It affects all our users. Home Manager is more specific. So this we can potentially install some more user specific. I'm just saying the same thing over and over. Yeah, we'll just install user specific stuff. But like we can also use it to manage like symlinks. There's see, Dreams of Code just did a video about moving back to Stowe, but when I was reading Ryan's book, or like kind of skimming through it, I had discovered, let's see, this cute world. I can never, I wish I could remember this website's domain. Just for some reason, it does not stick. But it's like in this best practices, I noticed so best practices, run download binaries on NixOS, simplify NixOS, accelerating .file debugging. There was this thing. There's a make out of stores symlink function, which seems like the actual right. It seems like the right way to store config files. One thing we'll start to notice when we actually start running our config, instead of just reading about Nix and kind of me just rambling about someone else's config and not building my own. Once we get that going, you'll kind of see that it takes some time to build up your system, because I'm not sure like if it's like checking configuration stuff or if it's just like overriding stuff or what. Like, but it seems to take a little bit, and this makes it so we can fastly iterate over our neovim config or whatever. So sweet. That's but we're gonna pull in home manager into our config. Actually, you know what we should probably do is, I wonder if I were to go Nix Darwin rebuild flake.x. Let's see what happens. Let's look at his just file, because I can't remember the command to reload. So not only we're gonna start trying to run our Nix code, our Nix config, but we're going to start by grabbing this just file. And then we'll do the dash show trace dash verbose. So I think what this is telling me is, because this is a Git repo, it's not finding this. I'm actually going to see. We're gonna make this into its own little like submodule. I'll do some magic off the screen. By black magic, I just mean making sure Git is properly configured. I would suggest you just Google it if you need it. this initial run takes a lot longer because it's cloning this Nix packages repo down into the cache, and it's a big thing. I'm trying to remember like how many tens of thousands Nix packages represents. Over 100,000 software packages, so awesome. So we get a failure. It looks like we just have a mismatched case. If I do this, what did I mess up? Oh, I lost my quote. That's probably it. Let's give it the old password. I forgot this user has a different password than my other one. I think I'm going to probably take a break. I have been at this for a little while and nobody's here, which is fine. I'm not really like expecting people to be watching me yet, but it's definitely harder to talk to an empty room. fighting a little bit of a headache anyway, so I hope everyone, all 0 of you non existent people, have a good day.